Oh, damn it.
Dune.
Dune.
Fucking Dune.
Dune. Can I go first? Can I go first?
Oh, you. Oh, okay. I was ready. I had the ammo in my gun, but I will.
Go ahead. Shoot your load.
Unarm
Shoot
it.
your gun.
No.
Okay.
I'm not going to do it.
This didn't surprise anyone more than it surprised me, but I fell madly in love with this movie within the first 15 minutes. I went in. If you go back and listen to the episodes, anytime we talk about Dune, I always say this is going to be dog shit, but I'll be happy to be pleasantly surprised. I was wrong on this one. Same thing as Loki. I was dead wrong. This movie was fucking incredible. This was my favorite sci-fi movie that I've seen in years. It just did it for me. Like the amount of lore that's jam-packed into it got me so interested that within 2 minutes of the credits rolling, I bought the book on Kindle, and I've been reading it since. The book is great. Cinematography was excellent. Obviously, a lot of special effects, a lot of green screening, but it looked so fucking good that it's like you almost can't tell. You know that like the city that they're occupying on Arrakis, there's no modern day cities that are all fucking pyramids, so it's not real. But they got it as close to looking real as they possibly could have. Every character in this movie was excellent. Every single, even the ones like Dave Bautista. What does he have? Like 3 minutes of screen time total?
Oh, dude, but he's so good.
But he's great in every scene he's in. I loved House Atreides. I'm like obsessed with House Atreides. Obviously, spoilers incoming, fellas. So, you know, this is the time to stop. But
the book's been out for decades. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah, true. There is not one member of House Atreides that died in this movie that didn't go out like a fucking just big dick swinging, like Duke Leto with the poison breath thing. Obviously didn't end up killing Baron Harkonnen, but fucking Duncan staying behind to fend them off. The one thing that I remember from 84 Dune that I saw when I was like 9-10 years old was that Duncan stays behind so that they can escape and he gets killed. So I was like ready for that point. I should say I thought I was ready for that part, but I was not. It still brought them tears up. He just went down like a fucking boss, just like Leto, just like maybe Gurney. We don't really know what happened to him. Hopefully
he's alive still.
I think he is too. I'm just hoping they didn't know No Country for Old Men him like they did with Brolin and just kill him off screen and then just never really address it again. But I know we're probably just doing broad thoughts right now. Dude, I loved it. It was like a 9.5 out of 10. I thought that the themes that were present, I feel like he stayed true to, I believe it's Frank Herbert, his original vision, which was
definitely Herbert. I don't know about Frank, but definitely Herbert.
It's always been an allegory about basically like imperialist nations using, fighting petty wars on, indigenous people's lands and slaughtering those people. I feel like it communicated that message well. I feel like Paul Atreides acts as like a metaphor for the white savior complex, where like we as the viewer are meant to rally behind him because he's joined the Fremen and now he wants to. But it's like, if you read the book, and it says this within the first 2 chapters, the Bene Gesserit, the religious faction of the series, has basically for thousands of years been doing a psyop where they like put these prophecies into different planets' theology.
Can I just say that I'm sorry, that's not the aspect I was going to bring up. They've literally said they've been mixing bloodlines to get to this person, and I was like, I know he gets brought up way too often, but they kind of Hitlered him, right? Like, they kind of Hitlered him.
There was some Hitlerish stuff going on.
Like, only the right bloodlines can mix to make the perfect Aryan fucking savior. I'm sorry, please continue.
But that's what I'm saying. That was intentional. Like it's sort of like the the whole thing you always see, like if you're idolizing them, then you didn't get the point. Obviously, Paul is a well-intentioned person, but you're right. He's basically a product of white supremacist selective breeding. They have done psyops on all these planets for them to expect a savior, so that basically when he shows up, they don't kill him and they let him run them. It's just dense, hard sci-fi, filled to the brim with lore. My thoughts are starting to get scattered, so I'm going to put a pin in it now and pass it back your way.
Okay. I mean, general thoughts, I can't say much more. So I think I had mentioned this in previous conversations about Dune, but I knew of Dune, and I knew the concept was an older sci-fi story that inspired others of modern day. I knew that there was spice involved. I knew that it was a war between factions on this desert planet, and that was about it. I didn't read the novel. I didn't see the 80s movie. I've never seen that before. I knew of it, never saw it.
Yeah.
So I hit play, and I was just ready. I wanted so badly to be just enveloped in this sci-fi universe, and boy, did it fucking deliver.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was immediately engrossed in every little detail. I'm like, Kaladin, okay, cool. Who the fuck's on? Okay, cool. House of Atreides is okay. Yeah. Okay, cool. And I sucked up fucking everything. I've since learned even additional details that they don't spell out explicitly, but you get through context. Like,
that's what I was going to say. Quick interjection.
Yeah.
One thing they did so well was basically like getting everyone on board with what's going on with hardly any exposition. I feel like the only exposition in the movie happens when I think her name is Shani.
Yeah.
What's
Shani?
What's the actress's
name? Zendaya.
Zendaya. Her character has like a quick 45-second little like, this is where I live. People are hurting my people. Like that's the only real direct exposition that happens in the whole movie. The rest of it is just they kind of like say these.
It's actually beautiful too.
Yeah.
Because her exposition is, the Harkonnens have left by imperial decree. Who will our next oppressors be?
Yeah.
Like, they're just ready for the next people to come in because, and if you don't know, again, fuck you. The story is decades old at this point, but in this universe, which is stuff that I sort of got through context in the film and then later looked up because I can't help myself when I find a new set of lore to dig into, is that there was like a war or something, but they don't use computers anymore. They have people do that. They don't use computers to navigate the interstellar travel. That they use spice to give it to navigators so that they can plot interstellar courses. It's a psychedelic drug that helps them, I guess, to focus immensely for a short period of time. The Mentat or Menstat, I forget exactly the pronunciation, but Mentat. It's and I'm forgetting the guy's name in the movie. Shit,
he has a really complex name. Yeah,
yeah. Sort of the right hand man of the head of House Atreides, our boy Oscar Isaacs. Early on in the movie, they did something which was like this cool little, just a brief insight into the world, but it didn't spell it out for me. Which was, he said, they came all this way with all these people. How much like fuel do you think they wasted, or spice or something? And his eyes go white. And it literally looks like he is punching in a fucking calculation in a computer, and his eyes come back and he goes, oh, it was this many gallons. And I went, oh shit, this dude's like a human fucking calculator. That's exactly what they are.
I was going to say, interestingly enough, like that's literally what they are. They apparently, I don't know, 10,000 years before this, there was a war against an AI. So they swore off, like you said, computers and artificial intelligence. But so they, like, every house has a mentat who is basically trained to be a computer, but still have a human mind, obviously. So, Polka Dot Man, I can't think of the actor's name. I don't even know it.
David Dastmalchian. You're welcome, buddy. I remember you.
Wait, were you fucking with me, or is that
no?
Really
That's his name.
Okay, yeah. He's Baron Harkonnen, his mentat. So all the houses seem to have one, and it's like I agree. That was just a really cool.
It was a really cool way to introduce it. Yeah. And I sucked up every piece of this lore, and I could not get enough of it. And I think if I have any complaints, the only side my complaints fall on are that I didn't get more of this universe, because one of my biggest complaints is I don't mind the slow start because I was so just enveloped in the lore and like learning about the world, and they do such a good job of setting up these houses and how the move that's being made to put House Atreides there is a political move by the Emperor, who we do not see the entire movie, in order to sort of like take the Harkonnens down a peg. And also cause some problems for Atreides. I mean, they're going to fight each other, obviously. Atreides are known to be like some of the best fighters in the galaxy that they live in. And, it's kind of like, well, both sides are going to suffer losses, and therefore neither would be strong enough to stand up to the Emperor. It was more or less the vibe that I got. But all the stuff with the Bene Gesserit, I don't know if it's Gesserit or Gesserit, but was really interesting. I got to say, the whole put your hand in the box thing, my brain just kept going, what's in the box?
Yeah.
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
I was half expecting him to fucking say it. I would have lost it.
I loved that scene. I just have to stop you there. Like, that scene. All right. I've always kind of talked shit on Timothée Chalamet simply because he looks like a guy who has rich parents and has never had to struggle for anything.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He still looks like a guy that has rich parents.
But I didn't realize what a good actor he was. Like, even in the beginning, going from him just kind of going like, ooh, that hurts a little bit. Even that facial expression nailed it. But when it really starts to wail on him, and that moment where he just basically accepts it and just looks her right in the eye, and fucking Jessica's saying the fears the mind killer speak on the other side of the room, and Hans Zimmer's fucking score just goes like up to 19. I was just like, holy shit. And that was within like 15 minutes of the movie starting. I was like, this is going to be a fucking good movie. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was so well done.
I had no idea that the voice is widely contributed for the inspiration behind the Jedi mind trick.
Mm-hmm.
The voice of the Bene Gesserit, where they basically force you to do something against your will. I thought all that lore of them trying to make like this, what is it? Something Ernst. I'm gonna butcher the name. They have a special name for him.
Oh, this save. Yeah, no, I can't. A lot of these names I can't nail down just yet, but that, the prophet,
they have they have a name for like the male who can control the voice and the Bene Gesserit, and like they literally say like a mind that can transcend like space and time. Like they're looking for the all powerful fucking humanoid. The one other thing I would point out, because again I also feel like I'm kind of rambling a bit about the film, is that I could not have loved Jason Momoa in this movie any more than I did.
He was so good.
His character of Duncan Idaho, which hilarious name by the way. I'm like, that's such a silly fucking whatever. Okay, I'll give you a pass. The relationship between him and Timothée Chalamet was so believably Big Brother.
Yeah.
Like you felt like real love, and then it's so dumb of a moment. Well, it's not dumb. It was a very serious moment in the film, but I don't think it was meant to elicit the tears that it did in me because I'm a big bitch. Was when they're escaping from the city, and Duncan finds them in the desert, and he runs up to him, and he's like, my lord, I'm so sorry, your father. And he's like, I know. And he drops to a knee and like puts his hand on his head. He's like, my lord, whatever. And I just was like, dude.
I loved that too. And this is what I'm saying. Like the in-universe lore and just politics and everything is it's done in a show don't tell way. Because every scene prior to that, Paul is not the Duke. He's the Duke's son. And so he talks to him informally. Like, looks like you put on some muscle. No, just kidding. You know, like he's always like kind of ribbing him a little bit. And the moment that he knows that Leto is dead, he's like, this is my Duke now. Like, this is the person I answer to. And exactly.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Cool.
It's you know, there's so much love, and there still is. But he now goes, okay, well, now you're my boss.
Yeah.
So now we're being serious. You know, we can fuck around and be friends later. I loved it so much. I thought the relationship was like one of the best parts of the film, which meant for me that I didn't know he was going to die. That whole scene just hit extra brutal. Obviously you saw it coming a mile away because of the setup of where they were. And
dude,
that
when he
leads
feigns
to like
death, and then like the shot where like all 6 of them are at the door and he just stands back up. Oh my God, it's so good. I got to watch it now.
Well, because Momoa has that like just primal rage scream down pat too, right? Like he's just got that fucking bro rage in him. That scene was great. And that leads into my only real critique of the whole movie, and then it's a part 1, and it's painfully obvious it's a part 1 because the plot is just starting to take leaps instead of just like it's walking along. It starts to pick up the pace. That whole action sequence happens, and then they meet up with the Fremen, and there's the really cool there's so much good about this movie. There's a really cool battle between him and the other Fremen, and he doesn't kill the guy right away. He has like 2 or 3 chances immediately to kill him. And the leader, played by Javier Bardem, is like, is he toying with him? And the mother's like, he's never killed anybody before. And I went, oh, fuck, Timothée Chalamet, you're such a good actor, because I could see it in his motions. He's like, I got his gut. He's like holding back. And when he finally does kill him, it was neat to realize that his visions are like only kind of true.
That's
the
what
guy
I
that
loved about that.
yeah.
It's you. I just thought that was so bittersweet and so weird that you see these visions throughout the whole movie where this guy basically becomes his mentor amongst the Fremen, and they become friends and like they're close. And so when you see him go like, do you yield? Do you yield? You're like, here it is. Here's where it starts. The guy ends up, forgiving him, and that's what brings them together. But instead, he just says, whether it's that his visions are wrong or that he says, fuck my visions, I'm going to do what I want to do, what I think is right in the moment. Like, I have no idea which is the accurate thing. I just thought that was so poignant and like bittersweet. It like actually hurt me. Like, imagine, you and I are going to become best friends one day, but you realize in the moment before that can ever happen, you have to fucking kill me. Like, it's just a ballsy narrative move. And I just loved, I loved it for that.
I liked the film a whole lot. Like I said, my biggest complaint is that it's very painfully a part one for me, and I mean that in the best way possible. And I mean it because I want part two, and I want it right now.